What does this mean? When you look at communities of color in particular, what we know is that 52% of African Americans do not have access to retirement savings programs through their employer. 60% of Asians do not have access to employer-based retirement savings program, and 67% of Hispanics. That's a lot of people. So when we talk about secure choice, we want you to know that we're talking about those communities of colors where there's retirement savings gap. We're talking about people from every corridor of the state of New York. So that when we pass this legislation, I'm going to say because it's going to happen, know that it'll go a long way, thank you, it'll go a long way towards closing the retirement savings gaps in communities of colors. So let's get busy. Let's go talk to these legislators. We thank the wonderful ones who are here today, and let's get secure choice passed.
Okay. Thank you very much, Reggie. So we're going to hear a lot more, and right now we're going to go to Jean Chatsky. And I know that many of you know of her, and she is really, her advice, I take it to heart. So, and I suggest all of you do too. And she's taken out of her personal time to come up today. She's actually from Westchester, so she's a New Yorker. And could we do any better to have a spokesperson who cares about this issue and is really knowledgeable on this issue? So, thank you, Jean, for doing this.
Morning, everybody. So, money rule number 11, which I want you all to remember when you go and lobby a little bit later today. Money rule number 11 says if you can't see it and you can't touch it, you won't spend it. And I have about 100 different money rules, but this is the one that I cite more than I cite any other because it explains in one sentence the magic behind 401k plans and other work-based retirement plans. You don't see the money because it is swiped right out of your paycheck before you have a chance to even lay a finger on it. And because it doesn't end up in your bank account every time you pull money out of the ATM, you don't see it there staring at you saying, take me and go shopping. And also because there are some taxes and some penalties that block your access to it. For all of these reasons, you keep your hands off. Add to that the fact that it's automatic and you understand why the number of 401k millionaires that we have in this country right now is at an all-time high. And yet many, many Americans and far too many New Yorkers don't have the ability to save that way. Nationally, 57 million Americans do not have a retirement plan at work. 3.5 million New Yorkers do not have a retirement plan at work. In fact, there are more private workers in New York who are not participating in a workplace retirement plan than who are. This has got to change, and that's the reason that we're all here today. The retirement landscape that New Yorkers are facing today is far different than the one that our grandparents and some of our parents faced. These earlier generations, they had pensions. They had pensions that would provide this paycheck not just until they passed away, but until their spouse passed away as well. We're responsible for funding our own retirement accounts, an array of retirement accounts, many of which are really complicated to understand. I can't tell you how many times I've been asked to explain the difference between a traditional IRA and a Roth IRA. And I don't get asked the same sort of questions about the SEP IRA, which is a very valuable benefit for self-employed individuals simply because many people don't even understand that it exists. It is no wonder, as Beth said, that people are 15 times more likely to put away money for their own retirements if they have a plan at work. And so why is it that more employers don't dive in? Well, for small employers, and I know this because I am a small employer, it can be both complicated and costly. We need a different sort of solution. Because of the way individuals work today, we change jobs an average 12 times over the course of our careers. A plan that we bring to New Yorkers has to be portable, and it has to be automatic. There are many, many reasons that Americans are really bad savers. For one, wages have been stagnant for a long time while prices have continued to rise, albeit slowly. Borrowed money has become way too easy to come by. But you can't and shouldn't take the human factor out of the equation. And the human factor is that saving money is really, really hard. It's hard. Human beings are wired to prefer immediate gratification over delayed gratification. Asking us to decide every single time we get paid to put money away for tomorrow instead of using it today is asking us to fight our basic human nature. Some people can do it, but for most, it's impossible. And that's why 46% of Americans don't have enough money aside to cover a $400 emergency expense. Not a $4,000 expense, a $400 expense. We have to give our fellow New Yorkers the tools to do the right thing, the tools to help our employers and to help ourselves. And secure choice is that kind of tool. And that's why, as a New Yorker and as an American, I support Governor Cuomo's inclusion of secure choice in his budget proposal. And I strongly urge the legislature to make it a part of the final state budget. So thank you all for coming here today. Thank you for taking your time to get behind this important issue. I really, really appreciate being able to talk to you all. Thanks.